Greetings. Today I'd like to do a quick overview of a card reader system that I have just picked up. If you are familiar with Atomos recorders, then this thing will look familiar, right? And probably this as well. This is the Atomos USB 3 adapter to hook up your media and ingest it on the computer, right? It's a little chintzy as you snap it on, right? It's not exactly the most wonderful fit. And then the other problem is, in my experience, this thing is terribly slow and to a certain degree unreliable. Half the time when I connect it to the iMac Pro, it gets recognized as USB 2 device with really slow transfers. And when it gets hooked up as a USB 3 device, I still get really slow transfers. Writes of only 100 megabytes a second, reads of maybe 300 megs a second. And, an SSD SATA 3 should be able to do somewhere between 400 and 500, depending on the actual SSD in the device, right? This happens to be the Angelbird Atom X 2 terabyte, so it should be capable of a lot more than just 300 meg read. And so I was looking around for something to replace it that was preferably Thunderbolt. And there's not a whole lot of options that I found out there, but one that I did find, which was getting fairly good reviews, although there aren't many videos about it on YouTube, is this thing. This is the BLACKJET TX-2DS. And what this is it's a docking station. It's got Thunderbolt in and out on the back. It's got Kensington lock and a power port, right? And it has these two bays in the front. They also have a 4-bay version of this that stacks the 4 vertically on top. And then they sell modules or readers that go into it. So this happens to be the reader, the DX-1AT, which is specifically designed for Atomos cartridges or drives, whatever. So I'll take the little rubber seal off, and then I can stick this in, and then it snaps into place, and you've got a Thunderbolt reader for a SATA device. The chassis itself comes with a DX-1 SSD, which is almost the same thing as the 1AT. Right? I don't know if this will be easy to see or not. They're both essentially caddies for a 2.5-inch SSD drive, but the 1AT, not sure if you can see it, has little rails in it that line up with the slots on Atomos caddies, and so helps guide it in and hold it in place, whereas the one for SSD is meant more for a standalone 2.5-inch computer drive, which is also a little bit taller than an Atomos drive is, and so almost the same, but not quite. And these readers modules are, at least at the time of recording this, which is April 2023, they range from like 60 to, well, I guess the Red Mag one is a little weird. That's 120, but most of them are in the $60 to $80 range. The housing itself is $220-ish, right? So I'm going to pause the recording here and get this hooked up to the iMac Pro, and then we can see if it actually gives us the better speeds that we would hope for. Okay, now we have the BLACKJET dock connected to the computer, and you can see that it is showing up as a Thunderbolt device and that it can do up to full 40 gig wing speed. And also, I mentioned they have a number of modules that you can install. So all these things that start with DX are the modules. So they've got one where you can stick in an M.2. They've got the SSD that one of them comes bundled in the package. They've got one for SD cards, a pair of SD cards, CF Express, CFast 2.0, although I've already got the Sonnet reader that I use for that. Sony S-by-S, CF Express Type A, Red Mini Mag, and then the Atomos Caddy reader. Quite a bit of the professional media cards used in recording industry for both cameras and audio. So let's see how this thing works. Gonna first install the Atomos reader, or Caddy reader. And when I do that, if I hit refresh, nothing shows up here. And at the moment, nothing additional shows up under SATA as well. However, when I install the drive and we give it a moment to show up, which it has, so now it's shown up, and if I refresh in here, we see we have two more SATA controllers, and we can see the drive, which is formatted as exFAT. And so now, bring up Blackmagic Speed Test. Select that drive and start. And what you can see is it's getting around 300, just shy of 360 meg on the writes. And on the reads, it hits about 385. And it's pretty consistent with this. And this is, as I said, quite a bit faster than I was getting with the Atomos USB 3 dock. The Atomos USB 3 dock, my writes were inexplicably low at around 100 megabits or megabytes a second. And the reads would be around just over 300. So a little bit faster here with the reads as well. So this is not quite as fast as the CFast cards that I've got when using the Sonnet Thunderbolt adapter, but still pretty respectable for ingesting footage from an Atomos device. Now, one thing that is a little unfortunate, you'll notice there are no status lights on the drive or the caddy to indicate that it's in use. This one status light here on the side is just indicating power for the chassis. Doesn't blink or anything, So it is the device. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. Thanks. Cheers.